smells like rotten egg and like cow manure.
Then you can't get in the water? I mean, that's beyond sad.
Living in a sewer is what it's like.
It's like the worst environmental crisis.
Right when I get off the freeway, you start smelling it.
The currents will take and move all the sewage essentially up the coast all the way past Coronado.
This is the Tijuana River. It starts in the mountains of Baja California, runs 120 miles through Tijuana, crosses the US border, and ends right here, at the edge of Imperial Beach, California. I went to both sides to understand what's actually going on.
Soy Gabriel Morales, aquí soy presidente del Comité de Vecinos de la sección Playas Coronado.
Every year, billions of gallons of raw sewage flow out of Tijuana into this river and straight into the Pacific Ocean.
Muchas aguas negras están corriendo de todos los drenajes que salen directamente al mar. Uno puede casi caminar todos los días y vas a ver aguas negras residuales saliendo al mar.
Gabriel lived in Imperial Beach for over 20 years. He moved back to Playas de Tijuana to retire. He's watched this problem from both sides of the border.
Nobody here locally will go into the waters.
Yeah, the thing you have to understand, this has been going on for 50 years.
It's been going on since I was a child, and I'm 65 now.
Toda la vida ha existido este problema. No se va a acabar la contaminación.
Imperial Beach has been closed since December 2021, over 1,000 consecutive days. The Surfrider Foundation tested the water and called it the most polluted beach in the country.
Back in the early to mid 80s, literally we'd come out here and we'd either sleep on the beach or wait for a swell to show up, and we'd be there first thing in the morning. But back then, it was once in a great while you'd have an issue with the sewage, and now it seems like it's just about every week.
Era una de las áreas más grandes donde habían surfistas para surfear en Imperial Beach. Ya no las ves. Ya no sé porque no pueden meterse al agua a arriesgar su salud de ellos mismos.
I used to have a friend that used to go surfing out here, and he got some kind of bacterial infection on his skin.
The Tijuana River dumps into the Pacific Ocean. The currents will take and move all the sewage essentially up the coast all the way past Coronado.
Coronado especially was renowned for being this pristine beach. Beautiful white sand, beautiful. And it's usually filled with people because you've got the Hotel del Coronado there. People are paying a lot of money to just stay at these places, and you can't get in the water. I mean, that's beyond sad. I used to work as a teacher at the high school, and we had a surf class. Even the kids that took the surf class had to take a hepatitis shot because of how dirty the water was. And it's worsened a lot so that the high school now sometimes smells, because that's how bad the offshore, especially on warmer days, really smells. And it's a danger. I mean, think about it. If you can smell feces, you're inhaling it. That cannot be good for your long-term health. So I worry about this community.
I mean, it's so bad that the schools around here are advised to keep the children inside at certain days when it is so bad. The air is so bad.
The sewage doesn't just stay in the water. It gets into the air. The toxins travel in ocean spray and reach homes and schools miles from the shore.
And more so than the water is the air. The air gets very polluted here. The air is some of the most polluted air in the entire country. It actually had the highest amount of hydrogen sulfide. Most nights, whenever the Tijuana sewage is really bad and it's going through the river valley, you can smell it. Smells like you're in
It comes through the walls. People are like, leave your windows open at night, but it is so bad that you cannot even keep your windows open, and if you do, it traps all of that smell in there, and you can get like headaches, you can get very nauseous, like it's very potent and disturbing.
It comes through the walls, and the whole house will smell like poop pretty much the entire night. In April, we had 200 times the federal limit for what hydrogen sulfide should be. UCSD said that was the highest recorded ever in any place in America.
Where I live, all that contamination, I smell it every night. Right when I get off the freeway, you start smelling it. And from that point on, all the way to my house, which is a mile down the road, that's all you smell is that contamination.
We've lived here for almost 6 years. They finally sent us a clean air filter that is like industrial grade. I mean, it's a huge one. It costs about $700 if you were to buy it out of pocket. They sent it to our house to kind of cover their ass, the city did. because they know that the air is so polluted.
We have a daughter. We have a
13-month-old daughter. She's had developmental problems, and a lot of it's probably attributed to living in Imperial Beach. I was very healthy my whole life. At 30 years old, I got pneumonia. The local urgent care that's here in Imperial Beach, South Bay Urgent Care, the doctors have written several articles about how they see the most severe respiratory illness that plagues people consistently, and it's all in this community right here versus the rest of the United States if you were to track it.
Some people are reporting that they had to get medical notes so they can break their leases.
Would you eat fish out of this water right now? Well, we're going fishing.
I wouldn't.
She won't. She wouldn't. No, if we catch a fish, I might eat it, you know, but
it's a shame that you have to even worry about that.
Oh, it's a bad shame.
Y me imagino que pescadores no pueden pescar ahí.
Pues mira, en la actualidad no deben, pero vas a ver un pobre persona que necesita que pescar para darle de comer a su familia.
On the Mexico side, Gabriel pointed out something that really stuck in my head. The people you see going in that water, they're families from inland Tijuana. For a lot of them, this is the only beach they can get to.
Y cuando se ve a los pobres niños y familias, afortunadamente la mayoría, casi el 100% son humildes que vienen de otras zonas como del este de Tijuana, que vienen acá a meterse al agua, que afortunadamente para ellos es lo único recreativa que tienen de hacer es meterse a la playa aquí local, porque no pueden irse más lejos.
You guys yourself leaving this area?
We're trying, absolutely. It's so hard to find affordable housing as a young couple with a baby in the San Diego area.
This problem goes back to the 1930s. Agreements have been signed before, but right now both countries have new deals in place and construction is underway on both sides of the border. That said, Tijuana's population keeps growing faster than its infrastructure can keep up with. One agreement doesn't change that. Whether this time is different, nobody can say for sure.
They're building apartment buildings, high-rise apartment buildings that are not needed. No one's buying them. No one can afford to buy them here. But poor construction, and they're connecting to the old sewer systems that run off straight into the ocean. Environmental studies need to be done before anything is built. Here they do everything in reverse than like in the US.
¿De dónde sale el dinero para construir esas construcciones? Si dice que no hay dinero para estas arreglar las calles, la luz, el agua, el drenaje.
Back in the 80s and the 90s, or 70s, 80s, and 90s, you know, there weren't millions of people living in Tijuana. You know, there were hundreds of thousands. So the issue only showed up when the weather turned foul and you got a lot of runoff from the rain. But now it's, like I said, it's pretty much a daily issue down here because there are just so many people there.
That's right.
And all that refuse has to go someplace.
It's a third world issue. I mean, it's a first world country right next to a third world country. Essentially, it's tragic.
Governor Gavin Newsom, he's got a presidential campaign that he's gearing up for, so he refuses to declare a state of emergency in Imperial Beach, and a lot of that so he can appear more moderate and conservative for people to try to get elected in 2028. So, you know, unfortunately, we're still victims here and we're not able to get any answers from the highest level of government.
Imperial Beach is about 20 minutes from downtown San Diego. It's got a pier, a surf history, families who've been here for decades. It's a beach town.
You just get sick to your stomach to think that like you're breathing somebody's poop particles.
The ocean is right there, and most days you can't go in it.
Cada año parece que está corriéndose más y más norte las aguas negras. So, yo les diría parar de apoyar a México para eso hasta que paren esto. Si tienen dinero para construir edificios, que ellos mismos paguen para tratamiento de las aguas.
This is far and overdone. This should have been fixed a long time ago. And now it's contaminated this whole city.
This is what this area survives on, is tourism and hotels and restaurants and the beach. And it's really affecting the economy as well. How could it not?
We're living in literally we're living in a sewer is what it's like.
It's like the worst environmental crisis.
The river's still flowing, the signs are still up, the people on both sides are still dealing with it.